Selling your crochet sounds like a really great way to make a living. You get to crochet all day and spend all the time doing something you love while having something flexible enough that you can spend time with family and stay home with the kids. But are you really prepared for the realities of running a crochet business? I'm Kelly Thomas. I'm your host here at Crochet Business School podcast. Let's talk all about how to make a living from your crochet. So, as with most things, the reality is kind of different from the expectations. It sounds fantastic being able to crochet all day and make a living from it. And the reality isn't quite there because, on the face of it, it sounds really simple. You crochet something, you put it up for sale, you make that sale, and you send your crochet off. Sounds fantastic, sounds really simple and easy. It's not quite that simple. First off, what are you going to crochet? Two, who is going to buy from you? How do they know you have something for sale? Then how do you price it so that you actually make money and not lose it, which is it's actually really easy to lose money on your crochet. And how do you then make sure that your crochet doesn't get lost in the post? Then add to that, your crochet has been something that you've used to relax in the evenings, as something to keep your hands busy and unwind at the end of the day. It's something you've done for yourself and it's your hobby that you love. When you start to sell your crochet, you're going to turn it into a business. It's not something you do as and when you feel like it, it's something you have to do to keep up with orders. You don't necessarily crochet what you want to make, you're crocheting what people order from you. So you lose the choice in what you're going to crochet, and you lose the choice of whether you crochet or not. So our crochet can turn into a chore, and it can be really easy to lose your love for the craft. And you have to consider whether you're willing to do that or not. Can stop being relaxing for you because you have to do it to earn money. Monetizing what you love is not necessarily always cracked up to be. And then there's the problem of you only earn money when you can crochet. And that is a big problem because if you want to take a break, there's no money coming in. I'm not trying to destroy your dreams of having a crochet business. You absolutely can make money from your crochet skills. It's just going to look a little bit different from what you expected. Because there are a whole bunch of problems when it comes to selling what you make. The biggest problem is that your crochet isn't scalable, which means that there's only so many hours you can crochet in a day. And if you want to make more money, you can't suddenly magic more hours in the day to get that money in. So while many businesses do make a good profit from selling the crochet that they make, if you want an income that isn't tied to your time, isn't tied to how many hours a day you can crochet, you kind of need to look at different options. And those options include becoming a content creator, so blogging, YouTube channel, TikTok, generating content for social media, that kind of thing. You can teach crochet classes, and not just how to crochet, but different techniques as well. Or you can become a crochet pattern writer, which is the route I took. And if that is something you're interested in, I do have an exclusive members only podcast on everything around running a crochet business. If that's something you're interested in, check out Crochet Pattern School. It's on my website and the link is in the show notes. But that's not the only option, because there are so many ways that you can make money from your crochet skills. And with these other options, you can make a full-time income from your crochet. You can have a crochet career. That is entirely doable. And these options sound maybe a bit scary, overwhelming. Maybe it's something you just never considered and thought that maybe even thought that it's not possible for you. It's possible for anyone, and it's easier than ever to do it. So while it sounds great, the idea of crocheting all day, the reality is that even if you do try and do that, it's not going to happen because when you're selling what you make, you still need to spend time in getting that crochet sold. You need to spend time on social media, making posts so you can build your audience and have people see that your crochet is available. That feels like a easy route, but actually it's a very time consuming route because you need to post every single day. If you decide to sell on a third party site like Etsy or Shopify, you need to spend time learning how these platforms work and getting your listings up and running. So no matter what you do, you won't be spending all day crocheting. You still have the back end admin stuff to do. And that takes more time than you expect. So it's still not a case of crocheting all day and selling what you make. There's limitation to everything. There's more to this process than just make something, post it for sale, send it out. It's never ever going to be that simple. I wish it was. I'd be all for it. But unfortunately, in this online world, it's just not that way because so many people try to do this. There are lots of crocheters who think it's going to be really simple. Friends and family can tell you that you should sell that. That looks great. People would love to have that. And people would love to buy your crochet. But there's an awful lot of people who don't want to pay the money for crochet. And a lot of crocheters give up the idea because one, they realize it's much more complicated than they thought, or two, because they only find people willing to pay them peanuts for their work. It's actually really easy to lose money selling your crochet because you get trapped in this idea that you can only sell at a low price. The lower the better. If you have a low price, it's going to sell, right? But you forget that your yarn costs money, you cost money, you need to make a profit, and you've got the fees on top. So even if you just sell on social media and take PayPal payment, well, PayPal charge a fee. So those fees have to be added on as well. And quickly the costs start to escalate. And there are crocheters out there who sell, and the only aim they have is to make enough money to pay for the yarn for the next project. And you can't compete with that. If you want to make extra money on top, so you can either pay yourself or just make a bit extra so that you can save up for that family holiday or save up for Christmas, you can't compete with someone who is just selling to buy their next lot of yarn. That's not possible. So you can't do this based on being the lowest priced because you'll just lose money. At the very least, if you're not making enough money to pay for your yarn, then you're selling at a loss. And if you're selling at a loss, then what's the point? There is a very big reality bump to this idea that you can crochet all day and make a living from it. There is so much more to it. And maybe you've just not considered that before, because why would you? Because you are a fantastic crocheter. I've no doubt about that. But it doesn't mean you know anything about the world of sales. And I'm not getting at you anyway at all. It's just if you've not been involved in it before, you don't know what you don't know. And this is kind of what can really sting you in the tail. As you go through the process, you discover what you don't know. And I went through this process for years. And it felt like as soon as I started getting somewhere, I realised I didn't know something and had to learn again. Learning the world of business, even for something that feels as simple as crochet, it's a massive learning curve. You've got a lot to learn. And you've got to be prepared to get into that sort of thing. Because if you're running this as a proper business, and by proper business, I mean you look at your finances, You're looking at how much profit you're making versus your bills. You are including your salary as one of the bills. That's the real mark of a true business, that you turn yourself into your employee and make sure you get paid. When you do this and make that profit, pay yourself properly, you are a proper business. There's a lot in it. You've got to be able to market what you make. You've got to be able to price properly so that it's worth making anything to sell. It's about learning the different platforms that you can sell on and how they work and make them work properly so that your crochet, gets seen and gets sold. And when you add all this together, it's a lot of time. It's a lot to learn and it takes a lot of time. And you're very quickly going to realize that selling what you make is very, very, very difficult to make a living from this. You have to look at other things. You have to look at teaching. You have to look at writing patterns. You have to look at becoming a content creator. These are the options open to you. That doesn't mean you have to stop selling what you make. It means you can do these things alongside it. We do not exist in a bubble. It's not one thing or another. It's one thing and another thing and another thing. Not all the things. We don't do everything because that's too much. But it's picking the ways of profiting from your crochet that work for you, both in terms of your personality and what you enjoy doing, and what works for your lifestyle and your lifestyle goals. You can build a crochet business. You can make a living from your crochet skills. It's just going to look a little bit different from what you first imagined. And as long as you're open to that, you've got a whole world available to you. Very, very doable to make an income from your crochet, to make it a career. You're just going to have to broaden your horizons a little bit and open your mind to other options. And there are so many more other options. There really are. There's almost too many. It can become overwhelming as to the choice that you have. But that's what I want to do here at Crochet Business School. I want to show you the possibilities, and I don't want you to give up on that dream of having your crochet become your career. Having your own business, being your own boss, being your own employee so that you can have that flexibility of lifestyle that you've been dreaming of. Your crochet can absolutely do that for you. It's just going to look a little bit different from what you first imagined. But absolutely can be done. So in this podcast, I want to show you what those possibilities are. So I am talking more about the different options available, the different platforms you can use, how it can be done. So keep listening in, because I'll be sharing all those different avenues over, probably the next year, because there's that many. And if I do a podcast on each one of them, I'm going to be taking a while to get through this, because you do have so many options, which means that you have all the choices in the world and all the opportunities to turn your crochet skills into the career that you want. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you get notified when the next episode comes out. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to crochetbusinessschool.com/subscribe, and you will get our weekly newsletter into your inbox, which will be filled with tips and other resources we have available for you as well. So thank you for listening, and I shall see you next time, the next episode. Bye for now.